Thursday night preview video. Like I said before, we're going to do it tonight because tomorrow I will be on my way to Michigan, so obviously won't be able to do the video. There's really not much to talk about. I mean, there's no big news coming out about this game. I mean, it's just a normal, tough NFC North matchup between the Lions and the Bears. Haha, just kidding. Cutler got benched. Holy crap, they're going to be playing Jimmy Clausen. This guy drafted in the second round. Even when he got drafted, everyone was saying that he's not going to be very good, that when they drafted him in the second round, it was way too high. Everyone other than Mel Kiper, I should say. I think he was the one that was beating that drum, and everyone else was kind of laughing at him. But I'm still floored. That news came out, I think, about 24 hours ago. I got to give a shout out to Half Moon Picks, who brought this up in my blog post. He mentioned about how ESPN reported Cutler was benched because of insubordination. He wasn't following the right calls in the huddle, making up his own plays, making up his own audible, stuff like that, not doing the right run plays, all that kind of stuff that was pretty much leaked to NFL Network by the offensive coordinator. Still, you paid the guy. I think his cap was $22 million this year. He had $54 million guaranteed. You just signed him this offseason. You got rid of McCown, who showed some promise, but he was 35, so you went with Cutler. And you bench him in week 16. I mean, if you're going to bench him, why not bench him when you're out of the playoffs? I mean, when we knocked him out at Thanksgiving, it was pretty much over at that point. Why not bench him at that point? Why wait until week 16 when it's a division game? I can guarantee there's some Packer fans out there that are like, really? Are you kidding me? Why? Thanks a lot, Chicago. So if you guys didn't hate each other enough, I can guarantee that Green Bay is fucking hating Chicago right now because of this. But not us in Detroit. This is awesome. Lions need this victory to go to the playoffs. As they win, they're in. That bottom line, they don't need any help from anybody else. None of that. We win this Sunday, we're in the playoffs. If something were to happen and, holy crap, God forbid we lose, then we could still get in if Philly loses to Washington, which probably isn't going to happen, but just saying that there is another scenario which puts Detroit into the playoff race. But, I mean, shit, if we don't beat Chicago, we don't deserve to go to the playoffs. I mean, this team is a complete dumpster fire. They have been for weeks, even when they won the 2 games before Thanksgiving. I mean, this team has pretty much given up a long time ago. They gave up, I think, over 40 points in 3 straight games or something like that. This defense is brutal. So it doesn't really matter what quarterback is playing. I got a lot of people on Twitter, people here and there saying, hey, watch out for Clausen. There isn't a lot of film on him. I get that, the realist side of it, to try not to get too excited, but come on. If you watch football, Jimmy Clausen, come on. You can't help but smile when you saw that news last night, because Jay Cutler, I mean, I'm a quarterback apologist. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm the last person that'll say, okay, this guy's never going to be anything. But Cutler, I think, gets a lot more criticism than he deserves. I think mostly just because of his demeanor, his whole, I don't give a fuck attitude, his poutiness, all that kind of stuff. I get that, it's the attitude. I think Stafford has some of that too. You don't see Stafford getting on his guys. You don't see Stafford out in the media a lot. He's kind of a robot on his press conferences. So I think that's part of Stafford's hate too, is that he's just not vocal. You don't hear from him a lot. But Cutler is a poster child for that. You look at his numbers. I mean, his numbers are actually better than Stafford's, other than the turnovers. His completion percentage is higher. His yards is only, I think, 100 yards lower. His touchdowns are higher. He's got more touchdowns than Stafford, and his quarterback rating is higher. So even though he has all those interceptions, he has 8 more interceptions than Stafford does. His quarterback rating is still higher. So sorry if I'm not overly concerned about Jimmy Clausen. I mean, Cutler is getting all the blame. Pretty much he's become the scapegoat of this, but he hasn't played defense. He didn't give up 50-some points to the Patriots. He didn't give up, 35 to Green Bay in the first half. He is a scapegoat, but that defense is brutal. Like, 29 points a game given up. Brutal. That is awful. And that's not just because of the turnovers. I mean, that defense is just lost out there. And when we played them on Thanksgiving, they were single covering Calvin. They weren't even jamming anyone at the line. I mean, how do you expect to be successful at all if you're single covering Calvin with a rookie who had a bum knee at the time? You're going to blame it all on Cutler? You know, I appreciate it, because Cutler, if there was a chance of Chicago doing something and then winning the game and just going out and having that one game, it was with Cutler. Cutler, he's shown, and there's a reason they paid him all that money. I should say, as a Lions fan, to not be nervous at all about this, it means that you don't remember anything in the past. Because as much as I said last video, and I keep saying that it's not the same old Lions, it's not. But that butthurt scarring that's right here in the chest, it's hard for me to really just be like, oh yeah, it's a win. Up here says, yeah, it's a win, but after so many years of watching the Lions, it scares the shit out of me, because we're getting all this praise, and everyone's saying we're going to win. I think the line is like 10.5, which is just crazy for a road division game. And with the way the offense played again last week, they had those 2 good games, but then they played a lot like the previous, 3 games before that. The only other thing there's 2 other little headlines about the game. Lions haven't won in a game where the temperature was 40 degrees or lower at kickoff since 1993. And yes, they do keep stats like that. I am sure there's some stats saying the Lions haven't won in a game that started at 43 degrees on a Tuesday. You know, I'm just saying, this is one of those demons that if we win, people can shut the fuck up about it, hopefully. You know, a lot of these records that are coming around is, oh, they haven't done this since 94, they haven't done this since 95, they haven't won the division since 93, they haven't won Lambeau since 91, I've won in Arizona since 95, so we weren't able to exercise that one, but we still got a chance with these other ones. So it starts with this one. The forecast, I think, is supposed to be 37 degrees in Chicago on Sunday, so we'll see. 3 keys to victory. This could almost count for all 3, because this is the only thing that's really kept this team from just really wowing a lot of people. And that's, we gotta start fast. I don't know why it is, but on both sides of the ball, I almost wish the Lions could just forfeit the first quarter and just say, all right, we'll give you 7. Because the first quarter on both sides, it's like the defense forgets how to play. They let Teddy Bridgewater go down the field on them twice in the first quarter. And Thanksgiving against Cutler, they looked like they were going to blow us out, and then we ended up winning, you know, doubling them up 34 to 17. But start fast, just get them done. You have the boos coming in. If they would just start off strong and put up, you know, 14, 17 points in the first half, something like that, even more hopefully. Just make it so where it's not like, oh yeah, they won, but look who they played and they don't deserve it and all this shit, because I'm so sick of all these, oh, Lions are the fraud of the NFL, they can't do anything, all that kind of stuff. Number 2, can't take Chicago lightly. No matter what their record is, who they're playing at quarterback, it's still a division game. It's still us on the road. You know, it's still in the cold, all that kind of stuff. I don't think they're taking them lightly. Under Caldwell, they've been so much different, so I don't think that's going to be a big issue at all. But still, you got to think about it. It's a bad team. Backup quarterback, all that kind of stuff. You can't take them lightly. And the third one, establish the run. It's no secret I love the pass. Love the pass a lot, but when you're on the road in cold weather, the teams that do successful in the playoffs, that at least play up north like we do, they have to be able to run the ball and play defense. So we got half of that. Half the defense. Now we just got to be able to establish Bell, and it should be smooth sailing this Sunday. And if we can get the run game going and everything, then next Sunday is going to be awesome. Because right now, if the Lions win Sunday and Green Bay win Sunday, then it's almost a lock that the Lions-Packer game next Sunday night is going to be flexed to the Sunday night game, which I'll be at that game, and it's already going to be cold, and I'm used to Virginia weather at this point, so that's going to be that's going to be a cold one up there in Lambeau Field. All right, prediction. I got the Lions 21-3. I don't know how many weeks I've predicted a blowout, and I've been wrong. So I'm just going to say 21-3 and hopefully do some kind of reverse psychology or whatever you want to say against the Lions here and say, no, it's not going to be a blowout. Well, 21-3 is still a blowout, but not. I want to say like 45-7. That's really what I feel, but the Lions have struggled so much about putting points up. So I still think they're going to blow them out, but it just won't be as high scoring of a blowout. Like I said, I think it'll be around 21-3, something like that. Realistically, we shouldn't give up fucking anything to Chicago. With Clausen at quarterback, and if they try to, the talk is that they're going to try to establish Forte, which sounds great to me. #1 run defense in the league, and that's what your game plan is. I think their game plan needs to be short passes and screens, but if they want to run the ball, that works for me too. The other games in the NFC North, Green Bay at Tampa. This should be a bloodbath, obviously. Tampa's awful. Lovie Smith has had a rough go of it in his first year. If Green Bay loses on Sunday and the Lions win, the Lions will win the division without even going to Green Bay next week. And next week would just be completely unseating. But to think that Tampa's going to beat Green Bay is rough. But then again, since halftime of that Atlanta game, the Packers have been shut out hard. Remember, it was 35-7 or something like that against Atlanta in the first half, and they ended up only winning by 6 in that game. And then last week they got outscored 21-13. So they've only scored 19 points in the last game and a half. So hopefully that trend keeps going. Maybe they peaked early. That's the optimistic side of me. Maybe the Green Bay Packers peaked early, and they're crumbling now. That would be amazing. Not going to happen, but hey, we can dream. That's it for me. Hope you guys enjoy the game on Sunday. Hope we all do. We're having Jimmy Clausen at quarterback. I don't think it's going to be very difficult to enjoy it. It should be fun. Hopefully it's snowing. I just love watching games in the snow. So hopefully it's snowing. Hopefully the Lions come away with a big victory and can clinch a playoff spot. But until then, check out my blog. Posted an article today about the Cutler situation. I try to post as much as I can. I'm actually on there more than I'm on here. But check that out. Like it, share it, comment, all that kind of stuff. And I'll hit you guys up on Monday. I'll still do videos while I'm up there. It'll just be a little different. I don't know if I'll be able to edit them. I might just have to upload the raw video. Gotta say, once again, I'm going to do this every video because I think it's hilarious. Chicago, love you. I love everything you're doing. I mean, all these headlines about Cutler and benching Cutler and how he's surprised and all this kind of stuff. You could just take out the word Bears and put the Lions, and we've been through this story a million times. So it's funny as hell that it's somebody else and it's in our division. I love it. I wish it was Green Bay. That was a clown show, but hey, Chicago, you work too, so I appreciate that, Chicago. Mark Trestman, you're welcome at my house anytime. So if you ever come down to Virginia after you get fired, just let me know and I'll treat you to a nice dinner. So I'll talk to you guys later and see you on Monday.